Yo, H-Rock, did you hear about the Windows outage? I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I visit my friend at Crowdstrike. I always forget their name. Yeah, I spilled a coffee on the server. I'm sorry. Are you still mad about it? That was all this morning. They tried to hand me a coffee and I was like, I don't drink that swill. I don't drink coffee. And then I mooed at him and I poured it out. Turns out that was on a very key server. Yeah, it caused the global outage. Am I sorry? Yes. Okay, fine. Is it sincere? Can't you tell? Yes, I'm sincerely sorry. Shut up about it. Screwed up my night shift in the ER last night. What do you mean screwed it up? You got to go home? You had to stop working? Nobody's perfect. Yeah, exactly. It ruined my Minecraft sesh. Didn't it only affect like old Windows machines? Which computers were affected? Microsoft Enterprise machines. I see. So many companies and ad agencies use old Windows machines. I guess it's new ones. No joke, my uncle misread a headline that said the outage was caused by Crowdstrike. Then he said birds, then shook his head. It would be so much of a cooler story if the crows were smarter than we thought, and they've been planning this for a while, and they finally struck and took down a huge amount of our computer systems. That'd be awesome. What it is going to be a hellacious weekend for IT workers. It's going to be hellacious like 3-4 days. They're going to have a miserable time, but it reminds me of when, what did they call it? When I was at Twitch, they called it pizza weekend or something. I forget what they called it. All the engineers called it pizza something because there was a hack at Twitch. Someone had got access to internal systems and the whole thing was compromised. And so they had to all stay at the office for like 4 or 5 days straight. Pizza party. Maybe it was pizza party. The company kept ordering pizzas and they just had to sit there and eat pizza and work the whole weekend to like get everything transferred over. And then on Monday, we all got new laptops. Because like all the previous laptops were compromised. A ton of Twitch data was like leaked. And then they were all frazzled. They were all dark circles under their eyes. You know, it was like a trial by fire. Anyway, it's like that's happening, but all over in a million different companies because of these outages. Yo, I just got here and I refuse to read the room or any context clues. What have you heard about the whole computer outage? I know you're doing a bit, and that's why I appreciate it, because that is the average enter the room chat message. What happened today? Yeah, it's like the largest IT disruption, largest IT outage in history. That's what it is. And it was because somebody pushed an update to Crowdstrike, which is like a security software that a lot of companies use. It's like the biggest one behind Microsoft itself, but it's bigger than its next 3 competitors. And it had a issue with Microsoft, not Linux or with Mac, just Microsoft, the way these two interacted. And it caused the blue screen of death. And so the computers were unusable. And the only way to fix it was to like reboot your computer in safe mode, find a specific .sys file and delete it. But like, you'd be surprised at how difficult that is to do for like an average worker at a normal company or like an airline worker or whatever. And so it's going to be a pain. Like only IT guys are going to be able to do it, and they're going to have to do it on every computer. And so it's just going to be a pain. But it's not like, I don't know, if it was like a hack or if it was like more difficult to fix or something, I think I would do a story on it. But after doing a minimum amount of reading, it was like, oh, this is just kind of annoying for IT workers, but it's going to be fixed. But it is, you know, the funny part is how big it is, I guess. Yeah, there's probably going to be some lawsuits, though I wonder how their EULA protects them. My company's laptops were fine and I had to work. Sad. Someone compared it on Twitter to like, it's like when you think there's going to be a snow day, but like the snow is too thin. Like it starts snowing, but it's not enough to cancel school. It's like, fuck, dude, people were praying. It did cancel hella flights. But again, it just feels like, you know, it's going to be back to business as usual relatively quick. If it was like a longer term thing, then there would be some. CEO reaction. He had a apparently, let's see. CEO reaction apparently pretty nervous.
Why is there not some kind of redundancy or some sort of backup? How is it that one single software bug can have such a profound and immediate impact?
Well, when you look at the complexity of cybersecurity, you're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries. Excuse me.
Adversaries. His response was kind of roasted too. Not that it's like easy to respond to. Again, like this guy didn't push the update to prod. Like, you know, like it's definitely somebody I think lower on the chain might have fucked up here, but it is fun. But his response wasn't great. He should have accepted more responsibility. People just hate when you respond with obfuscating corporate speak, you know, where it's like, this thing happened and we are aware, and it's very passive voice, very cover your ass non-answer. Yeah, probably for legal reasons if I had to guess. How was Microsoft and Crowdstrike stock affected? Well, it's kind of a simple question. You don't need me to tell you that you can Google Microsoft stock and then get a ticker and then look at it for a day. Surprisingly, I don't know if you could guess this from your question, they're both down a little bit. I don't think, I mean, especially in terms of Microsoft, this is not going to have an impact. Like if Microsoft stock goes down, it's because of a larger rotation out of tech stocks. CrowdStrike may take a bigger hit. It's a bad PR hit, but their other competitors are so small. Sometimes this stuff happens paradoxically backwards. Like this might end up being annoying, but then CrowdStrike fixes it. And then a bunch of IT guys over the world know the name CrowdStrike. And then when they're picking who they have for security, they just pick CrowdStrike because of name recognition. Low key, it might affect nothing. It reminds me of when there was that, like Peloton is a company that has eventually done poorly. But do you remember that Peloton ad that was really bad with the girl that looked like she was trapped? Do you remember this? It was like a Peloton ad with the girl that was like pleading with their eyes. And everyone was like, oh my God, that ad is so terrible. And the stock actually went down. But then people realized it didn't affect sales at all. And it actually made people talk about Peloton more. And there was no other option in the fucking at-home exercise space at the high end. And so Peloton actually went up from there. Eventually it has cratered because people have, exercise is fad based. People move on to the next thing, but it wasn't because of that. NL hasn't moved on. No, NL's apparently very committed to Peloton. I heard he does Peloton days with his subscribers, which is pretty funny. Mango does that, or is that Mango? Maybe they both do. It's worked for Mango. Mango lost a ton of weight. On God. Cloud9 in chat. Cloud9, good to see you. Mango mentioned? Yes, but also esports being a gigantic money pit was also mentioned. So just tomato, bro. I don't want to talk like Jar Jar, please answer. Sorry, that's the rules, Chef Davey. That's the rules. Please repeat this question, but put it in a Jar Jar voice or I'm not answering. Sorry, that's how we do things around here. I can't understand. I'm sorry, but I don't want to listen to your China EV questions until you put it in a Jar Jar voice so that we can all understand. Oh, he did it? Okay, let's see what he said. Jar Jar here. Misa want to know why people think tariffs are the answer to subsidies with e-visa. Couldn't Visa also subsidize R&D? Is Misa taking crazy pills? Thank you for your question. It's not just R&D, it's also the production. I mean, the companies themselves are heavily government subsidized. So it's a little different. It's not really just the tech. It's like the whole supply chain from the top up is subsidized. So in China, like from cobalt mines into battery production, into the companies themselves, into their ability to sell in the Chinese market. It's all subsidized to allow them to do things at lower costs. Even like the most cost conscious, I won't take a profit at all American EV company, if they were building in America, could not sell an American EV at those prices. They couldn't do it, which is the idea. It's like, oh, so if we let them ship EVs to America, which I'm iffy on it because I would love a low-cost Chinese EV, and I think it would eventually spur competition. But the idea is that it would so radically kill jobs here in the short term that they can't allow it. That's where tariffs come from. No. My understanding is no to this question. No, I don't think they subsidize the shipping. When they use air freight, you don't have to pay tariffs on things under $800, which I talked about recently. But also they have great ports in China. They have excellent ports. They have warehouses near the ports. They have factories near the warehouses. Chinese manufacturing is like if you went into Sim City and designed the perfect manufacturing area. Like if you're one of those nerds that like lined up all the grids to have everything set up and that's near that and that's near that and that's that. They have a lot of advantages there if you want to make something.